Well, hello and good morning. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Paul Hickman, and I'm the president and CEO of the Arizona Bankers Association. Before joining the ABA, I spent 18 years on various and sundry staffs of Senator John McCain, from legislative assistant to deputy policy director on the senator's 2000 presidential campaign, then policy director on his 2010 U.S. Senate re-election campaign, and as his state director, running his Arizona offices and acting as his chief representative during that time. I am a proud Republican, and I have been for decades, although after this morning I probably will no longer be a precinct committeeman. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. But like my colleagues with me here today, I didn't leave the Republican Party. The Republican Party, as it appears to me today, is a shell of its former self. It is hardly recognizable from the party that I think we all grew up in and we're proud to stand under the banner of. And so it pains me to see the likes of Kari Lake use our state as a political football to the detriment of our business community. This does absolutely nothing to move our state or our economy forward. The far-right politicians that have hijacked the Republican Party do not have the temperament or the aptitude for public service. They're not concerned with governing or delivering for Arizona. They are unwilling to work across the aisle to seek practical solutions to the crises we face. They only want power and they want to play games. I worked with Senator John McCain not just because I largely agreed with his vision, and we didn't always agree, but I knew that he would always put America and Arizona first. That's who he was. From the United States Navy to the halls of the United States Senate, he dedicated his life to serving others and causes greater than his own self-interest. I know that his fellow combat veteran Ruben Gallego carries that same spirit of leadership, and that's why I'm supporting him in the race for this U.S. Senate seat today. Like my former boss, Senator John McCain, Ruben has spent decades serving his country and this state. He's shown a willingness to work with those of different backgrounds and to deliver for America and Arizona. And in the Senate, I know that Ruben will carry on that spirit of making compromises, not spectacles. I trust that he'll work to boost small businesses and lower costs for all Arizonans. He won't fan the flames of division and extremism with a politics of vitriol. He will preserve our precious democracy, and he will always put America and Arizona first. So I am proud this morning to support Ruben Gallego to be the next senator from the great state of Arizona, and I hope you will all join me in that endeavor this November. Now I'd like to yield to Council Member Julie Spilsbury. Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah. I don't want to follow you. That was really good. That was really great.
Hello, thank you all for being here. I am Julie Spilsbury. I'm a lifelong Republican and a proud member of the Mesa City Council. I'll admit that this was not an easy decision for me to be here this morning. Congressman Gallego and I definitely don't agree on everything, but I'm standing here and we're all standing here because we care about the future of our great state. We care about the character of our leaders, and because we want a better future for our kids. We cannot just vote a straight party ticket. We should be voting for candidates that demonstrate integrity, compassion, and service to others regardless of party affiliation. As the mother of 6 children, the state of our politics and the potential consequences of this election are terrifying. The level of division and hateful rhetoric spouted by politicians who will do and say anything in order to get power is despicable to me. And what I've always taught my kids, what we say matters. Our words matter. Unfortunately, Ruben's opponent in this race is someone driven by an extreme and divisive agenda. Kari Lake has shown time and again that she will do nothing to bring us together. She will only divide us. She recently said that this is a battle between people who want to destroy this country and the people who want to save America. She said that this is a choice between good and evil. But like Ruben said last week, that doesn't make Kari Lake evil. It just means that we have a clearly different point of view, and it's one that I and many of my fellow Republicans believe must be defeated at the ballot box in November. We are one state. We need a leader in the Senate who speaks of hope and not fear, who understands that our best days are ahead, and the only way to get there is by working together. That is why I am here today supporting Ruben Gallego. Like I said earlier, by no means will we agree on everything, but when we do disagree, I know it will be done with respect. We cannot view or talk about the other side as enemies. We have to speak out and say, this is not okay. As a mother, a former small business owner, and an elected leader of one of Arizona's largest cities, I want a senator who will build an Arizona that I am proud to raise my family in. Hateful rhetoric and vitriol have no place in that version of our state. And I know that Ruben Gallego is the right person to make that Arizona a reality. He will represent us with humility, kindness, and compassion. And I would be proud to call him my next United States Senator. He is a Marine combat veteran. He is a son who worked any job he could to take care of his family. And he is a dad who I know is doing anything he can and whatever he can to build a better future for all of our children. I trust that Ruben is the right person to lead our state and our country into the future. And I ask that you please join us in supporting him. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is John Webster. I'm a small business owner here in the East Valley. I'm a veteran, and I'm a proud McCain Republican. I'm also a proud Ruben Gallego voter. As a small business owner, I often hire folks. So I review their resumes and then bring them in for an interview to make sure they're qualified for the job. I think that's very important to do for the U.S. Senate. And when I've looked at the resumes and interviewed or looked at the candidates, Ruben Gallego is the qualified candidate for this position. He has experience in dealing with foreign budgets. He understands our U.S. foreign policy. He's a proven leader. And I've chosen him to be my candidate for U.S. Senate. As a father and a husband, it's important for me that we have a candidate that reflects Arizona values. I think those values are hard work, integrity, and a problem solver. As an Air Force veteran, I admire Ruben's service in the Marine Corps. And when I served alongside the Marines, it reminded me how grateful I am that we do have Marines and how grateful I was to be in the Air Force. He's a Marine combat veteran, and he knows what it's like to put on a uniform and serve his country. And we need leaders who respect those who serve and do whatever they can to take care of them when they come home. And I've experienced this personally. When I had an issue with the VA, I discussed it with Ruben. He asked detailed questions about the issue and then acted immediately to figure out what could be done. That just shows the type of leader he is. He's a father of two, and he's spoken to me at length about how important it is to fight for Arizona. Not just for us as parents, but for our kids, for the next generation. He is the candidate for the future, and I believe him. He's approachable, he's genuine, and he listens. Arizona needs someone...
Sorry, my bad.
That's all right. Arizona needs someone who's focused on solutions and not just headlines. Someone who has a proven record. Ruben has the resume that fits the position of U.S. Senate, and today I ask you to join me in voting for Ruben. I think he's the candidate for a brighter Arizona. Thank you.
I think I have to.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Bettina.
Is that right? Okay. Look, I'm stepping in
There you
between
go.
the
I love
podium
it.
and the next U.S.
Give me
Senator.
direction. Always taking direction from Latina, so you know.
We're just bossy. It's okay. Thank you all for being here. I am dumbfounded by what everybody said, and I'm kind of emotional about it because that was beautiful. It's exactly right. This is who we are. These people, this is who we are. This is who we are. So thank you for being here. My name's Bettina Nava. I am a Republican still, struggling with that. I've spent many years working in Republican politics right here in Arizona, serving also, we hear this name a lot today, as John McCain's Southwest campaign manager in 2008 for his presidential, and then as his state director. And it was an honor. It was an honor of my life. But sadly, I no longer recognize the Republican Party I don't feel I left the party. I feel it, as of late, it's left me. And it is tragic. As I've worked to elect Republicans in Arizona, our candidates have always stood for freedom, for liberty, respect for the American dream for all. That no longer seems like the case today. It's just so unrecognizable to me. And even as of last week, Carrie Lake is the GOP Senate nominee, and let me be clear, she does not represent me. And there are a lot of us that are out here. Lake said Senator McCain, you all will recall, she said he was a loser. Come on. She condemned his supporters, people like me that are trying to build a better future for my kids, my family. I've invested here. I love this state. She told us to get the hell out of the Republican Party. It's unacceptable. She's fought to overturn the will of Arizonans, our voice, overturning our voice in 2020. And most recently, this blows me away, when she rejected, for 2020, when we rejected her for governor just 2 years ago, and she's still trying to declare herself governor. What is going on? She's still trying to declare it, filing yet another lawsuit just weeks ago in her case to overturn the 2022 election. So repeated attempts to overturn our elections and diminish the power of our votes, the people. And this November, as a Republican, I am proudly supporting Ruben Gallego, a proven champion for Arizona, a diplomat. Congressman Gallego and I haven't always agreed, and I thank you for the dialogue, for standing up for what you believe and allowing me to stand up for what I believe. And we haven't always agreed, and I don't think that we will necessarily going forward. Who cares? But I tell you what, he has always been collegial, welcomed the dialogue, and quite frankly, it's always been illuminating and helped us grow to better public policy that serves others. And I'm grateful for that. So here's what I know. He's going to compromise. He's always going to look out for the greater good of our state. I know that. He's dedicated his entire life to serving our country. And as a Marine and as a statesman, for a Republican like myself, that really means something. It is meaningful. I know he'll make Arizona proud as our next U.S. Senator, and I'm happy to support him. I'm so happy to support you, Senator-elect. Please, it is now your turn to take the podium.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you, Bettina, for that kind introduction. I'd also like to thank my wife, who's here, Cindy Gallego, because I could not be doing any of this if it wasn't for her. And when I say that, I mean it. We actually have a 13-month-old baby, and I've been on the campaign trail for 18 months. So do the math. For those who don't know me, as I said, I am a husband, a father, Marine combat veteran, and I'm proudly running to be the U.S. Senator for Arizona. It is great to actually be here with some longtime friends, and we are here to come together to say the same thing, that enough is enough. Arizona is at a crossroads. We need to lower the cost of living, protect our water resources, and defend our democracy, all of which are much more important than the political party strife that you see in Washington, D.C. We are here because we believe in the strength of our democracy and the power of coming together to solve our problems and issues that face Arizona now and into the future. I'm running for U.S. Senate to represent every Arizonan, regardless of party affiliation. We may not agree on everything, and I believe we can find common ground on the issues that matter most. It's most importantly, building a better Arizona. I am proud to have these Arizonans on my team: John, Paul, Julie, Bettina, and dozens and dozens of other former and current Republicans and independents. I'm grateful to have their support and their guidance. They have already done so much to build our communities, and together we can and will do more. The stakes of this election are very clear. Do we want a senator who will divide us, or someone who can bring Arizona together? From both sides of the aisle, to get the job done to move Arizona forward. Do we want a senator who will drag us back into the past, into petty fights, or someone who believes the best days of Arizona are coming? As Arizonans, we have much more in common than what we disagree on. And my opponent, Carrie Lake, represents the extreme fringes of politics that threatens all of our core values, Democrat, Independent, and Republican. She denies the results of free and fair elections. She seeks to control women and stands against every principle that makes our country strong, that makes Arizona strong. We cannot let her divisive and dangerous agenda win. For nearly 19 months, I've been traveling across the state, listening to Arizonans' concerns and sharing our vision for a better Arizona. From Mesa to Nogales, from Parker to Window Rock, I've heard your stories and your struggles. And I'm here to fight for you, for your family, and for Arizona, no matter which party you belong to. I believe in an Arizona where my 7-year-old son, Michael, and my one-year-old daughter, Isla, can grow up in a state that values their future, their freedom, and their potential. And I want the exact same thing for all of your kids. But I cannot do this alone. I have not been doing this alone. But every conversation we have, every door knocked, every vote counts, and we can get there. We have just 90 days left to this campaign. I can't believe I'm saying that. 90 days left to this campaign to really make a difference, keep Arizona together, and moving forward together. So let's use this time to reach out to our neighbors, our friends, our communities, to build a coalition that really stands for unity, stands for Arizona, and stands for a brighter future for all of Arizonans. So I thank you all for being here today. I thank you all for stepping up with me and for your support. Because together we will win this, we will defeat the extremists, and build a better Arizona. Thank you. Muchas gracias.